Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Well, they say as Miguel Cabrera goes, so go the Tigers. The good news is Miggy's going pretty good right now. He had a 3-run homer on Tuesday night. Last night, a solo shot the opposite way. Back-to-back games, home runs for the big fella. It's a nice day for baseball here. We're at downtown Detroit at Comerica Park, and it's Game 3 in this series featuring the Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pepper, Rod Allen, glad you're with us here this afternoon. Miggy, Rod. Miggy, he's finally coming back. Everybody thinks this guy is really hurting this year. But boy, the numbers starting to come back.
You know, I had a nice conversation with Lloyd McClendon this morning, and he said Miguel Cabrera really has been hitting the ball hard. In the last couple of games, he's gotten results. For the better part of 10 years, we've watched Miggy during stretches carry this offense. It looks like he's ready to carry the offense again.
All right, now a guy that's been carrying the pitching staff this year is Michael Fulmer. He's been awfully good. Really deserved to win in his last outing against San Diego, but he's got a certain pitch that's kind of working right now.
You know, he was an absolute bully out on the West Coast against the San Diego Padres. He had a fastball that averaged 95 miles an hour. As a matter of fact, Michael Fulmer, he touched 100 miles an hour for the very first time in his big league career. He had 8 strikeouts in the contest. All 8 strikeouts were on the fastball. Michael Fulmer is one of those guys that can absolutely dominate you with the fastball. And when that's not working well, he's got that slider and he's got that wicked changeup, which is an unbelievable pitch. So looking forward to Michael Fulmer going out there this afternoon, and they really need to lean on him today if they're going to win this series, which they desperately need to start doing, especially here at the crib.
I'm liking our chances today with Fulmer, don't you?
I am too, partner.
All right, stay with us. Game 3 in the series coming up after a short break. We'll send you down to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with John Keating. Coming up this afternoon, it's the rubber match. Tigers-Royals. Game 3 coming up next.
relievers that sometimes can bedevil teams, that sometimes can bedevil the Tigers. He was a starter in AAA. He's been called up by the Royals 4 times. He gets the ball today. He's 2-1 with an ERA of 5. No decision in his last start against Toronto. 2 runs allowed as he pitched into the 7th inning. Back here in the Call Sam studio, I'm John Keating. Game time is coming right up. Junis has received 0 run support in his last almost 12 innings pitched. Michael Fulmer will look to make that trend continue as he gets the ball for the Tigers against the Royals in the series finale here today. Detroit trying to go 4-2 against Kansas City this season. As always, if Detroit combines for 3 or more homers in today's game, you can bring in a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and receive a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your newspaper or on the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Dodge. Test drive a Dodge Challenger or Charger at the Dodge Drive and Discover sales event going on now. And by Kroger. With low prices and weekly deals, saving is easy at Kroger.
To take on the Kansas City Royals, and on the mound for the Tigers this afternoon, it'll be Michael Fulmer. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Michael was a tough luck loser in his last outing against the San Diego Padres. Gave up 1 run in that game and ended up losing the contest. He did have 8 strikeouts, overpowering fastball with real good slider and real good changeup command in that outing.
And here is the starting lineup he will face today, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Royals, it'll be Torres at the top of the lineup today, playing second base, then Bonifacio and Kane. The middle has Hosmer, Perez, and Moustakas. Soler, Escobar, and Alex Gordon will round it out for Ned Yost and the Kansas City Royals. Ramon Torres leads it off. Michael Fulmer goes to work, and here we go. The first pitch is outside to Torres, 1-0.
Expect the Kansas City Royals to swing very early and often against Michael Fulmer. They know he has an overpowering fastball, and they also know that he threw that fastball 73% of the time in his last outing.
1-0 pitch, dives in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Torres. Our first look at Ramon Torres in this series. Merrifield started the first 2 games at second base. He'll get the day off today. And Torres waves and misses 1 and 2.
And Michael gets lots of swings and misses on his 4-seam fastball. He's got a little giddy up on it when he gets into the hitting zone.
Torres batting .286. Looks at strike 3, and a good way to start this one for Fulmer. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' starting defense behind Michael Fulmer this afternoon. It's pretty much the way they've been lining up the last week or so. Upton, Matuk, and JD in the outfield. Castellanos at third. Romine gets the start at shortstop today. Kinsler and Miguel on the right side. And Alex Avila with that hot stick. He is back behind the plate again.
Romine at short in place of Iglesias. Here is Bonifacio, the number 2 hitter for the Royals. And he waves and misses.
96 with that fastball from Michael Fulmer. He has thrown 5 pitches, and just about every last one of them have been 95 and above.
Mike's coming out a little bit angry today, isn't
right?
he? Lost a tough one his last time out. There's a heater that misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. That last start for Fulmer should have resulted in a win. He gave up just the 1 run and allowed only 2 hits in the 1-0 loss to San Diego. Chopped to third, foul.
When you throw 96 miles an hour and you have that kind of movement on your pitch, it's very difficult for the hitters to barrel up. I mean, because you're seeing fastball come out of his hand, but look at the late life on this 2-seam fastball. Just run in on the hands of Bonifacio.
Now the 1-2. Popped up. Let's see if Avila has room. He will, and there are 2 gone. Well, the field conditions today will be somewhat different and interesting. Now, it is a warm day here. It is 78 degrees, but the wind, I think, is going to be a factor today. There is a chance of rain, but that wind is howling out toward left.
Yeah, very important for the Tigers defensively to make sure that they help each other out and they know exactly which way the flags are moving and where the ball is blowing. A lot of times, old school Mario, before you could really look up at the flags, you take some grass and just throw it up in the air to see which way the wind was blowing if you're an outfielder, and that would give you a pretty good idea of which way the ball would carry.
Used to do that in Little League, only it was dandelions for me out there in right field. There's a ball outside to Lorenzo Cain. Well, Cain's had himself a big series. He's 4 for 9. He's had 3 straight multi-hit games now. Swing and a miss, man.
Ooh, that's nasty. Slide piece. After throwing a bunch of 96-mile-per-hour fastballs, he comes back with this pitch. He had a real good slider in his last outing as well. That's nasty.
Now the 1-1. Little chop toward third base. Castellanos has it. And Cain is out by a step. It'll be a 1-2-3 first inning for Michael Fulmer. first inning in a scoreless ball game. We'll check out the starting lineup for the Tigers, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Kinsler, Avila, Upton in the top 3 spots. Miguel Cabrera starting to heat up. He's batting cleanup. J.D. Martinez, then Victor Martinez, and you've got Castellanos, Matuk, and Romine rounding it out today for the Tigers, and they're facing a tall right-hander. Jacob Junis, presented today by MGM Grand Detroit.
Yeah, he's making his 6th start here this afternoon. Checks in 2-1 with a 4.97. The Tigers have never seen him before. Not particularly a hard thrower. Fastball gets up to about 93. He throws lots of sliders about 32% of the time. He'll use his curveball and his changeup so frequently to the left-handed batters.
24 years old, out of Jacksonville, Arkansas, is Junis.
You saw the team has performed very well in his previous 5 starts. They are 4-1 in Junis' starts this year.
Ball 1 to Kinsler.
I was watching some video on him in the clubhouse today, as a lot of the Tigers were. 4-seam fastballs to the outside part of the plate.
Popped up and heading back to the seats, out of play.
2-seam fastballs inside as well to the right-handers. He'll throw you a couple of different breaking balls at different speeds and a lot of sliders.
Yeah, I was watching that same video, Rod, and it looked like that slider's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's got some deception to it. Looks like a fastball coming out of his hand, and it's got a real nice tight break to the outside part of the plate against the right-handed batters.
To right field, slicing. Bonifacio is on the run. Out of play.
Big game today for the boys. Kansas City obviously has played some outstanding baseball in the month of June. Now the Tigers are trying to get on track. They desperately need to win the series. They got Cleveland coming to town for a big 4-game series.
Yeah, got a doubleheader Saturday. Here's the 1-2. Kinsler, soft line drive to right, base hit. Tigers get the leadoff man on. Kins with a wide turn, forcing the throw.
Nice piece of hitting here by Ian Kinsler. A lot leveler swing, and when Ian is taking that much leveler swing, he's able to hit more line drives, less pop-ups, and that's a real nice swing. Good concentration by Kinsler and to get on base here in the first inning.
We're talking about how the wind is blowing out toward left field in the ball game today. Avila has hit a lot of his home runs the other way.
Uh-oh, you calling it?
Well, I'm not calling it, but I'm just saying if he get one up there and that little jet stream going, who knows? And I would certainly take it.
I know you will.
Avila 1 for 5 with a home run in the series. Junis from the stretch. Rolled foul at first base.
That's a pretty high leg kick for Junis. Even though the guy behind the plate, Salvador Perez, is one of the best throwing catchers in the American League, if Junis has that real slow leg kick, Ian Kinsler can steal the base on him, not so much the catcher. How about Salvador Perez, man, catching all 3 games, day game after the night game.
Well, we said he was a workhorse. Now the 0-1. That'll sail outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He doesn't throw that changeup very often. He will use it mostly to left-handers. He likes his slider against right-handers. Nice little smooth delivery from Junis.
For Avila, 11 home runs now. 1 of 2 solo shots in the ball game last night for the Tigers.
The 11 home runs that Alex has already compiled this year is the exact same total that he hit in 2015 and 16 combined.
And he's been asked many times, what is the difference this year? And I'm not sure he can point to any one thing, but maybe, I don't know, maybe health.
I think it's comfort too, man. I mean, he's comfortable here. Still had his house here. His father works here. It's like family here too, Avila.
Spent 1 year with Chicago last year after growing up in the Tiger system.
If you're going to go somewhere for 1 year, that ain't a bad place to go.
That's a good point. Credit card will get a workout, though. There's a ball low, and the count goes 3-1 on Avila.
Here is the count that Avila has hit in the majority of the year, and it's the exact same count that has allowed him to have the hardest hit ball rate in the majors right now. A predictable fastball count. And if he gets that fastball, he's going to hit it hard somewhere.
Outfield has him played to pull. 3-1 pitch. Fouled off 3-2, and Avila banged that one off his foot.
I don't really have an issue with Kinsler running here. Avila really doesn't strike out all that much. In the way he's swinging the bat, more than likely he will put the ball in play, but we'll see what Brad is thinking. You got Upton in the on-deck circle. You also have Miggy in the hole. You don't want to run into outs, but if you have trust in Avila to put the ball in play, it may not be all bad to start the runner here to possibly stay out of a double play should Avila hit something on the ground.
And I think that's probably the overriding factor there. Avila's ability to put the ball in play. He's got a very high on-base percentage this year. A lot of that due to the fact that he's drawn a lot of walks.
And Kinsler's got good speed.
Kinsler goes, and a ball inside, ball 4. That'll put 2 men on.
Let's take a look at the Royals starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. Left to right, they've got Gordon, they've got Kane and Bonifacio. The same trio that has started all 3 of the games. Really the only difference in the game today as far as defense is concerned is Torres, who is playing at second base, his 6th start of the season.
So here is Upton now, batting in the 3 spot these days. Jay up is 0 for 8 in the series. And he'll look at a ball outside, 1-0.
And the Royals, they slightly shift Jay up on the infield. Torres, the second baseman, playing directly behind Ian Kinsler. And so if you're Ian Kinsler, you have to know exactly where he's playing. Should a ball be hit on the line, you cannot get doubled off with nobody out.
Junis missing inside. Now the count goes 2-0, and he is building a problem here in the first. He's given up a single. He's walked a batter. Now he's 2-0 on Upton, with Cabrera lurking. Driven toward the gap in left center field. That ball is hit well, and it is gone. A home run. A 3-run shot for Justin Upton, and the Tigers jump out to a 3-0 lead.
Jay up the last couple of days had been slowed down as far as getting on base, but he absolutely killed that 2-0 fastball.
Well, so much for the 0 for 8.
2-0 fastball, swing back fashion right down the middle, and Jay up hit the ball over the Kansas City Royals bullpen. Man, has he had some kind of a year.
That is number 15 for Upton. He has crossed the 50 plateau in RBIs. He has 52. And just the start the Tigers needed to get off to today.
111 with the hit speed off the bat of Justin Upton. That is generating some serious hit speed.
Good bender there, and the count 0-2 now on Miggy. Upton came in with the 3rd best average in the American League with men in scoring position. He has added to that with a homer.
I did not know that.
Well, you look at the numbers across the board, they've been really level for Upton. He wants to make an all-star team this year.
If you go back to last August, really when Upton really started swinging the bat.
Ground ball up the middle. Escobar can't get it into left center field, a base hit.
In Upton's last 112 games, he's got about 32 homers and about 95 RBIs. That's since he started going last year at the end of the year.
So Cabrera with a single to left center following the Upton homer. And Junis has now recorded an out. Single, walk, homer, single.
So far, all the pick to stick are doing well here in the very first inning. Everybody's on the board today.
Who had Upton? You?
Oh, you know that.
Just wanted to make sure. Strike 1 on JD. No wonder you threw your arms in the air when that ball sailed over the fence.
Oh, you know it. Well, I got my pom-poms on up here, you know.
Little dance and everything. Man, he's celebrating that home run a lot. The 0-1. 0-2 on JD Martinez, who did not like that call at all from Dan Iasonia.
The curveball that spun up there. I think JD might have thought that ball was inside, but you saw the glove work there of Salvador Perez. He took that ball and ever so slightly pulled it back into the strike zone.
And Martinez goes down on strikes, one gone. It's the first strikeout of the ball game for Junis, the first out that he's recorded. He'll bring up Victor. Vimar returned to the lineup last night. His second game back off the disabled list for an irregular heartbeat.
He was 1 for 4 in last night's game, but I was more impressed and more encouraged with the bat speed. It appears that the time that Victor had off dealing with the heart issue that he had that landed him on the disabled list allowed him to rest a little bit.
This might be a double play, a 4-6 and a 3, and it is to end the inning. Big 3-run shot by Upton, though. Tigers have the lead.
A 3-0 lead, and now it's time for the Bernstein advantage, and Michael Fulmer has the Bernstein advantage on his split changeup this year. Take a look at the league average on the right there, and then you take a look at those yellow numbers on the left. Michael Fulmer, opponent's batting average, strikeout rate, whiff rate, well, any kind of rate. He is below the league average, so that gives you an indication of how dominant he can be when not using the overpowering fastball.
Well, the Tigers have given him an early 3-0 advantage. It'll be Hosmer, Perez, and Moustakas, middle of the lineup for Ned Yost. Hosmer lines it foul, no balls and 2 strikes on the Royals first baseman. Fulmer cruised through the first inning, 1-2-3. Hosmer, a couple of walks in the series, 3 out of 7, and a really good defensive play last night that helped out the Royals late.
He's a special player on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Eric Hosmer can do it.
Now the 0-2. Bouncing ball to third. Castellanos right there. They had Hosmer played perfectly, 1 gone. That'll bring up Salvador Perez. In Fulmer's 14 starts this year, 12 of them have been quality starts. And there's only one pitcher in the American League that has more quality starts this year, and that would be Chris Sale.
His earned run average is in the top 10 in the American League.
Perez is jammed inside 1-0.
I like that pitch. 96 inside to make Perez move his feet. He's been way too comfortable in this series. Now he'll simply go back outside with 95, 96 on the black outside. There you go. Like it. Love it, as a matter of fact.
You know, it occurs to me, a day game after a night game, you may be a little bit sleepy, a little slower on day games. You come on, you got to face this guy.
Right.
The 1-1. I mean, it'll wake you up quick. He's coming right after the Royals.
That was an 89-mile-per-hour changeup. Salvador Perez 1 for 10 in his career against Fulmer. That one is a homer.
Swing and a miss. He foul tipped it into the glove for strike 3. Ball was at the letters, and he swung right through it.
We're going to make that our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. First fastball inside 96. Then he goes back outside with 97. Another 2-seam fastball down, and then he finishes them off upstairs. He worked all 4 quadrants in the strike zone with those 4 pitches. Outstanding job there by Michael.
Here's Moustakas. They've got the shift on against the third baseman, who is having a fabulous year. He homered in the ball game last night, and that gives him 20 for the season now. The 1-0. Popped up. Left side of the infield. And it's going to be another 1-2-3 for Michael Fulmer. You to stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Well, Jacob Junis back to the hill after surrendering the 3-run homer to Upton in the first. Bottom 3 here: Castellanos, Matuk, and Romine. Junis threw 20 first-inning pitches, and there's a ball up high to Castellanos. 3 out of 7 for Nicholas in the series. He sits safely now in his last 4. That'll straighten him up 2-0. Royals starting staff looks a whole lot different these days than it did a couple of years ago. They're still without their ace Danny Duffy, who was on the disabled list but heading back soon. Here's a chopper, third base side for Moustakas. 1 gone. And that'll bring up Mikey Matuk.
Yeah, when they get Danny Duffy back, no doubt he will help this rotation. He's a left-hander that throws 96, 97 with a good changeup, good breaking ball. Legitimate number 1.
Royals are probably a team, Rod. I would think you would probably agree with this. If they're serious about going for it in the second half, probably have to look for some help in that rotation and maybe a bullpen piece.
Agreed. Such a tough decision for Dayton Moore, their general manager. I can't even think of another team that has as difficult decisions to make as we get toward the trade deadline.
Kane running over to the gap. Wind playing with that ball a little bit, and Matuk is out, 2 gone. Well, everybody had the Royals selling when they lost 9 straight in the month of April, but they've turned it on the last 2 months, and that has forced their GM to reconsider. And now, I mean, here you are nearly to the All-Star break, about 2 weeks to go before the break, and now you're right there.
What makes his decision so difficult is the fact that he's got 4 starting players in the lineup that are free agents, and there are 4 players that any other team would love to have.
Fly ball left field on a line. That'll be caught there by Gordon. Going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Junis. Third, hey, Tigers fans, the Indians are coming to town this Saturday, 7:15 start. Negro Leagues weekend. First 10,000 fans get a free Detroit Stars duffel bag. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com or 866-66-TIGER. Fulmer back at the hill, and he has been awfully good after 2 innings so far.
I think we're going to see more and more of these Kansas City Royals really go up there aggressive against Fulmer, because pretty much every guy he has started off with a mid-90s fastball.
Soler, the batter, he'll get things started here in the third. He skies this one in the air to center field, but right there is Mikey Matuk.
And Fulmer's cut from a different cloth, partner. He reminds me of a young Justin Verlander, young Roger Clemens. I mean, bulldogs out there that just keep coming after you. They don't back down from you.
I like the Clemens analogy based on the body types. You know, Michael's one of those guys that you can tell, man, he's just he's going to be a bulldog. He's going to be a workhorse.
In his last outing against San Diego, Michael Fulmer was 100 pitches in to the contest, and he was still tossing fastballs up there at 97 miles an hour.
Strike one to Escobar. 9-game hitting streak for Escobar. He's had a big series, 5 for 8. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Royals shortstop.
And by and large, it's been a slow start to the 2017 season for Escobar, but he really has picked it up the last 3 weeks. He's got that average up to 221.
1-2. Yeah, that may not seem like a big thing, but he was sub 200 for a long time.
And he originally came to the Kansas City Royals from the Milwaukee Brewers in the Zach Greinke deal.
Did he go? Yes, he went around. Escobar is punched out of there. Third strikeout.
And Michael Fulmer, through the first couple of innings today, just absolutely dirty with the mid-90s fastball and that slide piece, which he has found in his last couple of outings, has been a plus pitch too.
Gordon had a pretty good night last night. He's knocked in 3 for the series. Fouled away 0-1. Justin Upton, a 3-run homer to give the Tigers the lead in the first. Royals have not had a base runner yet. The 0-1. Only a 193 average for Gordon. Straight foul back in the seats.
That fastball 98 miles an hour thrown by Michael Fulmer.
There's no way they caught that barehanded.
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, looked like he took one for the team. Looked like it got him in a good spot though.
Just the 1-2. Got him, strike 3. Gordon caught looking, and Fulmer is on one today, man. 9 straight retired.
Michael Fulmer today looks like he is going to put up zeros all day long. He has just been nasty all game long. That's a 98-mile-per-hour fastball to finish off Alex Gordon at the top of the zone. Nothing Gordon could do.
Well, we welcome in Craig Monroe, who's hanging out downtown down there in the field. Simo, a little bit warm today, but that's all right. Michael Fulmer, man, he's put on a show so far.
Oh, yes, he is. I mean, I love watching this young man go to work. And,
Kinsler just launched one. It's out to the wall, and Gordon leaps. It's gone. Home run for Ian Kinsler. A solo shot to start the bottom of the third. The second home run for the Tigers today.
And Tigers also hit a couple of home runs yesterday. That's just a hanging breaking ball that is screaming to Ian Kinsler, hit me, and that's exactly what he did. Nearly a spectacular catch by Alex Gordon. That ball hit right off the tip of his glove. Simo, I don't know if you have a monitor down there, but did he play that the best way that he could play it? Because he only missed it by that much. I mean, did he elevate as much as he could have?
well, I think he did. He got back there. He knew exactly where he was at. The wind continued to blow, though. That ball a little further away from him. But I thought he did an outstanding job of getting back there, getting to the wall, grabbing the wall, and trying to go up and make a play. Just wasn't able to make it. Nice effort, though.
Told you guys earlier, anything out to left field has got a chance today.
And take one more look at Gordon in the outfield. He gets back there. And as C said, he finds that wall and gets there.
There you go.
It's almost like he jumps from a standstill position instead of that running position, though.
Avila looks at a ball outside 1-2. I wonder how much the wind had to do with it.
Oh, it may have. There's a lot of wind up there today.
He had double back right at the last second, and that cost him. Tigers lead 4-0. Craig, on days like today when you played left field here where the wind is howling out there, your heart had to be a little quicker, I would think.
A little bit, but I would just play back, guys. I mean, you feel like you can come in on the ball. And if they hit it well, especially with the wind blowing out, it's probably going to go over the fence for a home run. So you stay back.
And Avila caught looking, strike 3. And it's the second strikeout for Junis. Ian Kinsler has just hit his 9th of the year, a solo shot. Upton will stand in now. So Upton was 0 for 8 in the series before his first at bat here today, when he launched a 3-run homer. And the reason, I believe, is that he's wearing his pant legs up today.
Is that what it is?
Yep. Showing a lot of socks down there.
Some really cool socks being worn by all the major league clubs these days. I really like the sock game.
The sock game?
Yeah, sock game.
Hammered foul to left field.
That's why so many guys are wearing their pants up around the knees these days. Take on Dave Clark down at third base. He's got his nice sock game going. Clarky's got some stripes on his.
Yeah. It's the ones Daniel Norris wears as well. I love those. 1-1 breaks in for a strike. 1-2 now on Upton.
I have noticed that the last couple of innings, Junis has gone to that curveball a little bit more after those fastballs got hit around in the very first inning. He's thrown a lot of curveballs. He's got a good slider.
Late time given to Upton.
Mario Rod, guys, I was a little surprised that he didn't start the game that way. We watched Ian Kennedy pitch last night, and that's exactly what he did. He was more off-speed pitches than fastballs.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's sky to center field. And Kennedy had a lot of success in that game last night, keeping Tigers' bats off balance.
Kennedy did a marvelous job of going up and going down. Not so much east to west in the strike zone, but he used his fastball up and he used that changeup and his breaking ball down to keep the Tigers off balance while he was out there for 7 innings.
Numbers on Kennedy: 7. He gave up 2 runs, 5 hits. That's it. Struck out 5. Was in command most of the night. Miguel looks at a ball low. Tigers have 4 runs, 4 hits.
Had a nice conversation with Lloyd McClendon this morning, and he was talking about Miguel Cabrera and how the team just absolutely feeds off of him when he's going well.
Miggy now taking exception with Dan Iasonia. Yeah, you can tell, rather, once Miggy is rolling, man, the rest of the lineup just seems to roll with him.
Oh yeah, he can carry a team for weeks at a time. And the way he's been hitting the ball to right field lately is the way Miggy's done it his whole career. I see you, Miggy.
Another one. It's going to slice down the line. Base hit. And so Bonifacio will get it back in. 2-out single. Miggy 2 for 2.
It's a beautiful swing by Miguel, but take a look at the approach these days by Miguel. He's taking that left foot, he's opening up the hips, and that's allowing that barrel of the bat to lag and to stay in the strike zone. And look at the concentration down to the barrel of the baseball here by Miguel Cabrera. It's outstanding, and that's why he's getting ready to start rolling again.
Castellanos the batter, or Check-It Martinez the batter.
Saw your piece you did today in pregame, Simo, on some of the guys, and and guys that allow the ball to travel deep in the strike zone. I would imagine Miggy was one of those guys, wasn't he?
Miggy was absolutely one of those guys. He's the best guy as far as I'm concerned for a very long time. Staying inside the baseball, driving that ball the opposite way. JD Martinez as well. Love what Alex Avila's been doing too this season, hitting the ball to the pull side, but also where his bread is buttered the opposite way.
We hear that term a lot, Simo, staying inside the baseball from a hitting perspective. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it allows you to stay square, Mario. It allows you to stay square long enough to get your bat on plane. And if you think through the baseball, you're going to give yourself the best opportunity to drive the ball to all fields.
That will allow you to create some backspin too, doesn't it? I mean, there's all this talk about launch angle these days, but that backspin is also a key to lofting the ball in the air and hitting home runs.
No question about it. I still believe that guys that have the ability to drive the ball the opposite way, or just drive the ball in general, they create good bat lag, and their bat stays in the zone for a very long time. And again, I like the high finish. That to me keeps that baseball, when you catch it on the back side of it, it allows that ball to backspin itself out.
Does Junis dare throw JD a fastball here 3-1?
No. Let's see. And he missed it outside.
He threw it, but he didn't want to throw it for a strike.
So a 2-out rally going now with a single and a walk. That'll bring up Victor. The second walk for Junis.
What'd you think of Victor's at bats last night? See, I thought he generated some bat speed. Even though he only had the one hit, I was encouraged by some of the swings that he took in last night's game.
Well, I just feel like he's always in control of his bats, Rod. So I was not surprised that he was able to put together some solid at bats. It does look like his lower half, which has been a big problem for him, staying healthy. It just looks like he's healthy, looks strong on his lower half, and I feel like he's going to generate some power in this second half and be able to drive some balls and drive in some runs and help this team on the offensive side.
Another bouncing ball to second, and it's going to be Torres to throw him out, and that'll end the inning. Tigers add another, though. Ian Kinsler goes deep. Just out of the reach of Alex Gordon. 4-0 Tigers. South Beach, when baseball's biggest stars take the field in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game July 11th, and it's only on Fox. All-Star voting ends, what, at midnight tonight, Rod?
Oh.
Just get on your computer. Vote up to 35 times. Tigers.com. Ramon Torres, the batter. 1 ball and 1 strike on the leadoff man who struck out in the first inning. 9 in a row retired by Fulmer. Pop foul out of play, 1-2.
This is why Fulmer is so good. I mean, he has 97 that you have to respect, and all of a sudden he comes back with his changeup. It's a split changeup, and he's getting that fading, tailing action away, and you get the uncomfortable swings from the left-handers and the right-handers. I just love the way he attacks the strike zone. He's thrown 33 pitches, 34 total, and 26 of them have been strikes.
And, fellas, he works with a good rhythm as well, which I think is always a bonus.
And once he gets 2 strikes on you, it's pretty much lights out with Michael Fulmer these days.
Fouled away. Torres getting the start at second today for Whit Merrifield, who gets the day off. He was called up from their AAA team in Omaha back in early June. He's having a good year down there, 327. Now the 1-2, and outside 2-2. Gonna venture to guess not too many guys roaming around AAA right now that have the skill set of Michael Fulmer.
Oh no.
Not a lot of guys in the big leagues with that skill set. Here's a 2-2 offering. Little looper. That's gonna drop in, the first hit of the ball game for the Royals.
Nice at bat by Torres. He choked up on the bat. He got himself a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. He didn't try to do a whole lot with it and just kind of poked it into left field.
He's going to bring up Bonifacio. Who popped up in his first at bat. Seen Bonifacio a little bit now, Rod, and Simo, and this guy seems to be a pretty good prospect. He made a nice defensive play, cutting off a ball in the gap last night, keeping a single from turning into a double. This time he hits one on the ground to the shortstop. Should be 2. There's a 6, a 4, and a 3 double play. And we'll check in right now with Johnny Kane.
Yeah, boys, talking with Michael Fulmer before this start. You know, this is his 4th straight start with at least 5 days of rest in between. Of course, the more traditional would be 4 days of rest in between and pitch every 5th. But he says his body's really responded well. And certainly in his last start against San Diego, 7 innings pitched, gave up just a 1 earned run. Said his fastball slider, the best it's been all season. Stayed away from the changeup in that game. He said a lot of times you get into a game and the game will dictate what you throw. In that game, he was either throwing those for balls or they were getting hit. He did say he intended to throw some more changeups in this one, guys.
Johnny, I saw your piece on pregame show, the fun piece you did about voting All-Stars. Fulmer seems to be a guy that would have a pretty good shot, don't you think?
I think so. Listen, I really do. I think, I think Justin Upton is obviously making a case as far as position players with another homer today, but I think Michael Fulmer absolutely is deserving of the All-Star talk.
Avila. He's got an outside shot.
Avila's in there too.
He's got an outside shot of backing up.
There's so many good players. That's the problem. It's obviously we're biased here, but I mean, these guys are all deserving. Avila definitely is in the discussion.
Johnny Kane, you're our all-star. We know that.
You're too kind, man.
There's a fly ball in the air toward right field. Should do it. JD under it, and that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. 10 p.m. Fans are invited to stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. One of the best fireworks shows around. You'll see it right here at Comerica and on Tigers Live. Here is Castellanos leading it off. It'll be Nick and then Matuk and then Romine. Bottom three for the Detroiters, facing Jacob Junis, who has surrendered 2 homers in this game. Upton a 3-run shot. Kinsler a solo homer. The 0-1 is a ball outside. Junis had a 1-2-3 second and then ran into more trouble in third. And Nick looks at a ball low, 2-1. Junis was a 29th round draft pick in 2011, so he has had to fight some odds to get to the big leagues. Turn himself into a prospect, somebody that gets an opportunity. Swing and a miss. Good slider there. We talked about that pitch that he features.
He was pitching some outstanding baseball down in the minor leagues. In 7 starts in Omaha, he was 2-2 with a .234 earned run average. He only gave up 11 runs in 42 innings before his call-up.
Here's the 2-2. Low 3-2. We often talk about the differences, guys, between minor leagues and big leagues. See, what is your biggest difference between AAA and the big leagues in terms of the pitching that you face?
Well, I feel like at the major league level, guys are more efficient. They know exactly where they want to throw the ball, and they're able to pinpoint that control. In the minor leagues, for me as a hitter, you would get more mistakes, and you could capitalize on those mistakes. We'll say in the big leagues, you get 1 pitch to hit a bat. In AAA, even in AA, you might get 2, maybe even 3 pitches in a particular bat to get a knock.
Real money's probably better in the big leagues too, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
3-2. Nick Castellanos. Fouled away.
I remember back in the early 80s when Hawaii was in the Pacific Coast League, and you used to make 11-day trips to Hawaii back in those days because you didn't go over there 2 different trips because it was so expensive. So you would go over there and you'd stay 11 days. And as a team, you would play pretty well the first couple of days. Then after that, Hawaii would just sweep everybody because everybody was not going to bed in Hawaii, man. It was ridiculous.
The home island advantage.
Yeah, they won the league just about every year. Hawaii Islanders was the name of that squad. And you only got $11 a day meal money.
Come on.
No, seriously. And back in those days in AAA, you got $11 a day meal money. So you got 11 times 11. What's that, 122?
And that would have to last you.
And that would have to last you for 11 days.
Oh, my goodness.
It's safe to say that many of us had to dip into our own pockets while in Hawaii for 11 days.
Well, I think that could be said, Rod, for most minor leaguers. I mean, I remember being in AAA, and guys, get this, before taxes, I was getting $2,100 a month. I go, wow, how do you live off that?
Wow. There's a ball outside to Mikey Matuk.
Those are the sacrifices that you make in the minor leagues, and that's what helps you when you get to the big leagues. Really appreciate it a whole lot more.
Well, right at the time, that was a lot of money.
2 balls, no strikes now on Matuk. Flat out to center in the second. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Little chopper back up the middle, gonna have to hurry. Escobar's throw not in time, safe. Matuk had enough speed to beat it out, infield hit.
It's a nice play here by Escobar. He's a real good defender at shortstop. Do or die play. Matuk runs too well, not able to get him. Infield single for Mikey. What a quick exchange there to the throwing hand by Escobar.
Here is Romine getting his first at bat, or second at bat of the game. His first at bat resulting in a line drive out to the left fielder Gordon. And he skies this one in the air to right field. That ball is hit well. It's going to the track, to the wall. It is gone. Romine pulling one into the seats in right, and the Tigers have their third home run of the day.
Curly fries.
Where you at, fellas?
Oh, Johnny, don't you do it.
Where you at, fellas? Huh?
Johnny Kane.
Johnny, don't you have somewhere to be?
Andrew Romine is his pick to stick.
Don't you have somebody to interview, Johnny Kane?
I think I got my post-game request in. What a shot.
Now, how did you know that?
I'm telling you, you got to trust the gut. No, you win every day, Mario.
Well, I know you got a bromance going with Romine.
Come on now.
But that's an outstanding pick, my man. You went with the number 9 hitter, and he homers for you.
Well, you know what the funny part is? I almost went with Ian Kinsler, and he homered earlier, and I thought, doggone it.
Wow.
Everybody's homering today, boys. I think we're all going to win.
You don't feel bad then?
Well, so far everybody's on the board, and I can't remember many days where everybody was in the positive on pick to stick. Even Keating's in the positive right now.
That's
a special day. It's a special day.
Don't wake up Papa Bear.
He's awake. He's awake. He's awake.
Keats, you with us?
I'm sitting right here. I'm just taking shots.
I'm sorry, John.
Kidney shot.
I thought your mic was off.
Taking body blows left and right.
Why don't you tell the kids at home what you told me on the pregame show about pick the stick? Everybody's scattering in the Tigers clubhouse.
Oh, about John Keating?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, everybody to a man. Please tell John Keating not to pick me and pick the stick, because John, whoever he takes, they're negative every day.
I'm thrilled that Miguel Cabrera has 2 hits already, so I'm off the hook.
Oh, boy. Well, Kinsler with a homer in the third, a single in the first. He has scored a couple of runs. 6-0 Tigers here this afternoon. It's fouled back out of play.
And boys taking advantage of the elements here today. A lot of wind up there, balls flying out of the ballpark. Anything that's hit and with any kind of velocity, hit speed at all today, with any kind of launch angle, it's going to ride out of here.
Now Junis with the 3-2. Is unable to hold on. Seven Tigers hits, only 1 for the Royals. And 3 of the Tigers hits have left the building. Type of offense that Brad Ausmus has been waiting to see on a consistent basis. Again, the 3-2, and it's pulled to third base. Moustakas almost automatic there. 2 away. Bring up Alex Avila. It also brings us to Chevrolet's most dependable player. Avila this season at home, .396. On base in 26 of 29. He walked and scored in the first. And fanned in his last at bat, took it looking for strike 3. They are shifting to the right side against Avila, and he will take a strike on the outer edge.
Did you know that home run by Andrew Romine, which was his 3rd of this season, is a career high for him?
Did not know that.
There's a lot of guys in the big leagues, though, already this year that have set career highs in home runs, and some guys have doubled their output in home runs from just a season ago.
0-2 on Avila. Ball is definitely flying this year. Numbers show it. Pitchers will tell you it is. They feel a difference in the baseballs. I know Justin Verlander has been quoted as saying that. Difference in the seams, the way they feel.
There's been 1,000 home runs already hit in the month of June in the major leagues.
Oh my goodness.
1,000 of them.
In the month of June?
The month of June.
Seymour, man, you playing in this year, you get one of those big contracts. You'd have a huge year. You had, what was your most, Simo? 28 one year, am I right on that?
Yeah, 28 in 2006.
In 06, yeah.
What was your most memorable home run? Your favorite home run? I know Jim Leland has his favorite home run of the one in New York, but do you have a favorite home run, Simo, in the big leagues?
I think that was it. The one off Scott Proctor. It was in the second game of that doubleheader in New York. My mom was there, and it did. It just made it that much more special when Marilyn Monroe in New York. It was perfect. We you know, it rained the day before, so we had a chance to go to see the play, Lion King, and it was just it was a marvelous trip to have her there with me, hanging out with me in New York. So no, that's the biggest one.
And from what I remember, the Tigers really needed to win that game.
Yeah, we were behind. We wasn't playing good baseball. We were losing ground, and we were losing it fast. And when we dropped that first game, I remember Mom coming down and just telling me, "It's all right, you're gonna get them this game." You know, and that's how she's always been throughout my whole life, man. She's always been positive with me. Believes in you more than you believe in yourself sometimes, and you need that.
Yeah, moms are the best.
Oh, my goodness.
Avila goes around for strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Tigers get on the board, though, with 2 more. How about Andrew Romine? Making Johnny Kane look like a smart guy today. 6-0 Detroit. Is the score, and today's game is on AFN, the American Forces Network, now in his 75th year of broadcasting to American military personnel overseas in more than 170 countries and naval ships at sea. Welcome to those watching, and thank you for your service to our country. We're glad to have you along with us today. The Tigers hitting 3 home runs so far to back Michael Fulmer, who has surrendered 1 measly hit. Eric Hosmer leads it off, and he'll look at ball 1 outside. And really the only hit that Fulmer has allowed was a little bloop single off the bat of the leadoff man, Torres.
Yeah, Michael's done a nice job of getting ahead of the majority of the hitters that he has faced today. He is 8 of 13 in first pitch strikes, and that just makes Michael's life so much easier once he's able to get ahead. And then he can go to the slider, he can go to the changeup, or he can simply stay with that overpowering fastball. His average fastball is 95 miles an hour.
Here's the 1-1. 2-1 to Hosmer, who bounced out to the third baseman Castellanos. Perez and then Moustakas to follow for the Royals here in the 5th. Big swing there by Hosmer.
Eric Hosmer was the starting first baseman for Jim Leyland's USA team in the World Baseball Classic, and he played nearly every single game. And I was shocked because that team also had Goldschmidt on the team, and Goldschmidt didn't get off the bench, partner.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Right now, Goldschmidt's the MVP in the National League.
Fulmer tried to make a really difficult play. Don't know if they would have got him anyway. That'll be an infield hit for Hosmer.
The catcher, Salvador Perez.
Hosmer's got really good speed. I don't know if Michael would have been able to throw him out anyway with him and his body going in that direction. He would have had to stop on the dime and then somehow get up off the knees to make a throw over to first base. It's a nice effort by Michael, though.
He's going to bring up Perez. Salvador with a strikeout in the second. He swung at a pitch at his letters.
And Michael Fulmer is looking for the double play here right now off the bat of Salvador Perez. And Salvador Perez is prone to hitting into double plays.
In there, strike one.
Good pitch. He started him off with a slider. How's that ball look coming out of Michael Fulmer's hand down there, Simo?
Looks real good, guys. Looks like his fastball's got some life on it. Moving east to west. Looking for it right now. 0-1 count. A little nice two-seam fastball running in on his hands.
For that ground ball double play?
That's right.
0-2. Rod, what would your approach be against a guy like Michael Fulmer?
Oh, fastballs all day long.
Right.
I would not look for anything but a fastball.
You can't hit his slider.
If he made a mistake with any of them other pitches, I mean, I might be able to put it in play. But I would not miss the fastball, though. Whenever he threw me a fastball, I'd be looking for it. I don't care where it was, either inside, outside, high, low, because you can't think that much when a guy's throwing 98 miles an hour.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Perez is down on strikes. One gone. How about our showstopper today? Did you see Nolan Arenado? Look at this play by the Rockies third baseman.
He might be the best third baseman in all of baseball, and that includes Manny Machado, too, the very talented third baseman of Baltimore, Josh Donaldson. You could name them all. This guy's legit.
Great stretch by Mark Reynolds, rather, their first baseman, who really kind of made that play as well, going out there and snatching it. But Arenado, man, he can play. And we'll see him later this year. The Tigers going to Denver to take on the Rockies.
That's what I enjoy about interleague play. You get a chance to see some of the best players in the other league. We had a chance to see Goldschmidt this year when we went to Arizona.
Here's the 1-0, and it's a ground ball to second. Kinsler, Romine, and a double play. 4-6-3. No runs a hit, nobody led. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. here this afternoon and calling all Eagles. Fox Sports Detroit University days are back Tuesday, July 25th. Purchase your tickets at a Tigers.com/EMU. Ticket package includes a limited edition hat. Don't miss Eastern Michigan University Day with the Tigers. Get your tickets today. Eagles will be in the house. They're in the house every night, actually. Judas back to work now as we go to the bottom of the fifth. It'll be Jay up. Upton looks at a strike. Bender drops in 0-1. Cabrera, then Martinez.
The home run ball has been an issue for Junis since he's come to the big leagues. Coming into the game today, he had surrendered 6 home runs in just 29 innings of work. And he's already given up 3 more today, so he's given up 9 total.
Tigers had 2 homers last night. They had 3 more today. Last night's solo shots by Vila and Cabrera. Here's the 0-2. Upton now has 32 RBIs in his last 33 games.
He's been balling.
That last one bit him pretty good. Trying to walk it off.
He'd like to have that hanging curveball back again too, though.
The 0-2. He went fishing.
I had a chance to catch up with Lloyd McClendon today. We were talking about Miguel Cabrera and Miguel's season so far, and this is what Lloyd had to say.
I think it's a classic case of perception and reality. You know, the perception is that Miguel is struggling because of the numbers. But if you really break it down, and the number of hard hit balls of velocity of 95 or above off the bat that's been hitting right at people has been just extraordinary. I think he's somewhere around 45, 50 at bats where he's hit into bad luck. His expected average is probably 315 where he's hitting 260. So that's extraordinary.
It really is, Rod. I think, guys, that you would expect the numbers eventually have to turn around.
Oh, absolutely. For Miguel Cabrera, you know the numbers are going to turn around. It won't be long before Miguel Cabrera will be right back up there, right around 300, as he is every single season as he grounds out to Escobar, the shortstop, for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. This is why Miguel is special to the squad. When he gets back to the dugout, he just energizes everybody with the way that he plays the game. And when he's smiling and having fun, his teammates are energized, and this is why he's a leader on that baseball field.
Two outs now for JD, who looks at a strike 0-1. JD had a walk earlier in the game and a strikeout in the first. Four strikeouts for Junis. Roll toward first base, and that'll be gobbled up by Hosmer, and it'll be a 1-2-3 inning. Simo, we'll see you on postgame.
All right, guys, enjoyed it.
All right, take care, buddy. All Tigers this afternoon, 6-0.
There you go.
Okay.
Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. Rod, did you know there's a dog park out at Grand Circus Park?
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. You bring your pooch out there.
They're having a blast.
They are. Ground ball hit sharply to third, and gobbling it up is Castellanos. He'll throw out the leadoff man Soler. One gone.
Yeah, Michael Fulmer is simply dealing out there right now. He's got the Kansas City Royals swinging early and often, but the key for Michael Fulmer, he continues to make quality pitches, so they haven't really barreled him up yet.
Now Alcides Escobar will stand in.
I wouldn't be shocked if Alcides tried to bunt. That's what guys like he do when you can't hit a guy.
In there for strike one, right at the letters. Fulmer struck him out on his first at bat. Little chopper to the shortstop. Romine, quick throw for the out, two gone.
Here's the 1-800-CALL-SAM call of the game, and take a look at what Michael Fulmer has been able to do here today. Fastball's gotten all the way up to 98 miles an hour. He's working all four quadrants of the strike zone. When he gets him looking for the fastball, he simply goes to that sinker, that changeup, and that slide piece. And the Kansas City Royals, who were hot last night and hot coming in the month of June, have been cooled off so far today by Fulmer.
Oh, look out. That ball rocketed right back up the middle. It's going to roll into short left field.
Man, that's like the third or fourth time in the last 4 or 5 days a Tigers pitcher has gotten hit with a ball.
And Kevin Rand, the head athletic trainer, comes running out of the Tigers dugout to see if Fulmer is okay.
I believe Verlander was hit a couple of days ago, and who was it? Justin Wilson was also hit in his game.
No chance for Michael to get out of the way, although he tried. I think Sanchez got hit as well on the road trip in Seattle. And a ball hit back to the mound.
I will say this about Fulmer. When you deliver that baseball, see how he's falling off toward the first base side of the rubber. You have to make sure you give yourself a better chance to make a play, or at least get out of the way and give yourself a more athletic position after you've delivered the baseball.
The hit speed on that was 108.
Castellanos cracking jokes.
Here is the top of the order now. Torres, only the third hit allowed by Fulmer, and Torres had their first hit, a single in the fourth. Michael retired 9 straight to start the game. Royals going up there hacking now.
Well, they have to. I mean, this guy is just filling up the strike zone with lots of quality thrown strikes. 43 of the 56 pitches have hit the strike zone. He's only missed with 13.
Here's the 0-1. Torres spending a lot of time in the minor leagues for the Royals, about 7 years, over 2,000 minor league at bats. Getting a big league opportunity this year, and that's fouled back out of play. 1-2 the count. .327 average down at AAA Omaha before his call up in early June. Tigers got 3 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 more in the fourth, all of them via the home run ball. Swing and a miss. Takes care of Torres to end the inning.
Life more, and you know what, you have to enjoy life every day, you know, day by day, and you just never know. I mean, I always think that way, and just trying to live my life, you know, make the most out of it, and that's it.
Well, the thoughts of Victor Martinez before the game yesterday prior to coming back. And Victor, of course, had that health scare, irregular heartbeat, but good to see him back in the lineup and healthy and good to go after some time out of the DL. A couple of ground balls in this one for Victor. He's 0 for 2. It'll be Martinez, then Castellanos and Matuk. Tigers batting in the 6th. Junis spins one up there, but he misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez in the series now is 1 for 6. High fly ball toward left field. It'll be Gordon circling and making the play. 1 gone. It'll bring up Nick Castellanos. You know, I was thinking, Rod, just listening to the words of Victor Martinez, you know, you're living this big league lifestyle, which obviously is a dream lifestyle. It's just a great honor to play the game and live the lifestyle they have, but it's something like that that really kind of puts things in perspective.
And no question about that. Victor lost his dad at a very young age, so he did not grow up with a father. And I know Victor was probably thinking about his young kids. They just had another baby just a month ago or so, and I know he's thinking about his young family as well. So it just kind of puts it all into perspective when you do have a health scare like that. It just kind of scares you, and then it allows you to reflect on some things, and then it also allows you to appreciate every single day. We all should appreciate every single day.
Good to see Victor back in the clubhouse with little Victor, his son, who has been around the clubhouse a lot. There's a strike called, and the count is 0-2. Six runs on 7 Tigers hits, no runs on 3 hits for the Royals. 0 for 2 for Castellanos. I gotta be honest, I didn't think Junis would be around here in the 6th inning.
He started throwing a lot more off-speed pitches. He was trying to establish his fastball early. And he ended up giving up a 3-run home run to Justin Upton in the very first inning. But since that first inning, he's kind of went to his curveball. He's thrown a few changeups to the left-handers.
And now 6 in a row retired by the right-hander Junis. 2-2 on Nicholas. 3-2 on Castellanos. Junis did his 4th different stint with the Royals, had an ERA in the low 2s at AAA. Fouled away. Tigers have the Indians coming to town next. It'll be a 4-game weekend series, including a doubleheader on Saturday, off day Monday, and then San Fran comes to town. The Gigantes are not having a good year, are they?
No, they're not. They're struggling this year.
Castellanos hanging tough.
And the Giants have said they're open for business, and which means they might trade a couple of pieces that they have on their current roster.
You know, they win the World Series in even years. This being an odd year, they're 30-51, 22.5 out in the West.
And the way the other teams are playing in the West, they're not going to catch Arizona, and they're not going to catch Colorado nor the Dodgers.
Time called as Castellanos steps out late.
The Dodgers will make a visit here for a 3-game series a little bit later on, and that means the Tigers might get a chance to see Clayton Kershaw. He is recognized as the best pitcher in baseball right now.
Ball 4 inside. It'll be a 1-out walk. Speaking of the National League West, time now for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. The Rockies are currently on an 8-game losing streak.
Well, they were playing so well. 21 games over 500 at one time, and now they're scuffling a bit.
Here come to Judge.
Oh, my goodness. I want to see him in the home run hitting contest. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see Bellinger in the home run hitting contest, and Stanton has already said that he's going to participate in the home run contest.
Yeah, let's get the Judge in there. Theo Epstein had some pretty stern comments for Montero, who called out Jake Arrieta on all those stolen bases against him the other day.
Yeah, he called him a bad teammate, and that's not good. Anytime you get called a bad teammate.
Mikey Matuk standing in now with 1 on, 1 out. Oh, 2 on Matuk. Now Junis with the 0-2. And Mikey fought one off.
Junis has hung a lot of breaking balls, and he really hasn't got hurt on those breaking balls that he's hung. Speaking of Aaron Judge, he was at it again last night. You think he's all-star worthy, Mario?
Dude's MVP worthy right now. Yeah, he's been lighting it up. That is popped up foul, back out of play. You know, that guy's made for New York. I mean, he's big. He hits home runs. He wears the number 99. Here's some rookies to lead the major leagues in homers at the All-Star break.
Doesn't happen very often. And last time it was done by Jose Abreu.
And again the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Matuk. Romine will be next. Jammed him that time, and he got a piece of it. Mikey's had a really good month of June. 340 coming in. single, run scored in this game. And Brad now has been able to pencil him in against righties and lefties.
He's playing some good baseball right now, playing with a lot of confidence. And when you get consistent reps, that's what can happen.
Couple of homers, 7 RBIs this month as well. Swing and a miss, struck him out. 2 outs, 5 strikeouts now for the right-hander Jacob Junis. He's going to bring up Andrew Romine. Romine got it for a 2-run shot back in the 4th. Junis is approaching his season high in pitches. 100 is his high. He's at 96, now 97. Romine swung at the first pitch and hit over the right field wall back in the 4th for a 2-run homer. One ball, 1 strike. Tigers came into play 7 behind Cleveland. The Indians are winning again, beating Texas as they go to the 9th, 5-1.
Yeah, one good thing about the 4-game series that will take place over the weekend, the Tigers will not have to see Corey Kluber. He's pitching today. Although Miguel Cabrera might want to see Corey Kluber.
Yeah, he's got good numbers against
like
Kluber.
500 or something like that against Kluber.
Right to the first baseman Hosmer to win the inning. No runs, a walk, 1 man left.
By Dodge, the Indians have taken the division lead and on their way to winning again behind Corey Kluber, who struck out 12 Rangers today, his 4th consecutive start with double digits in punch-outs. Cleveland leads Texas 5-1 as they play in the top of the 9th. Kluber is done. Cleveland leads by a half game over Minnesota in the Central, and the Indians roll into town tonight to play 4 here at Comerica Park starting tomorrow. Mario, right?
All right, Keats. The Tigers, meanwhile, here winning 6-0 as Bonifacio leads off the 7th. Michael Fulmer has just thrown his 60th pitch of the day, and we are in the 7th inning.
And
efficient.
Of the 60, he's only missed the strike zone with 15 of those.
It's amazing. Here's the 1-0. Bonifacio hit into a double play in his last at bat. He is 0 for 2 as Fulmer has scattered just 3 singles. That is it.
Soft ground ball to short. To his left, Romine throws him out. One gone here in the 7th.
And Michael Fulmer has thrown a total of 62 pitches today. And more than half of those have been 95 miles an hour and above. We told you in his last outing against San Diego, he was 100 pitches into that game, and he was still pumping fastballs up there at 97 miles an hour.
Here's Kane.
There are guys in the big leagues, partner, that can touch 95 and touch 96, but there's only a handful that average that kind of velocity on just about every fastball they throw, and that would be Michael Fulmer.
And Romine makes another play, and Kane is out. 2 gone. I thought the last start that Fulmer made was probably the best I'd seen him this season. Now I might change my mind.
Well, due to the fact that this team, and I don't mean to disrespect the San Diego Padres, but this team offensively much better than the San Diego Padres offense. Would you say so?
No doubt, no doubt. And it's been a much stiffer challenge today. You definitely have to say that.
And especially the kind of confidence the Royals were playing with when they got here.
0-1 on Hosmer.
It's a nice matchup right here. Power against power.
One ball, one strike. Fulmer gets it, gets his sign, and throws it. The 1-1 pitch. Ripped to first. Oh, Miggy with a play.
Look what I found.
1, 2, 3 inning. Michael Fulmer is absolutely on fire today. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Off that hot smash off of Eric Hosmer's bat. Miggy turns his body to the side. That ball's basically behind him when it lands in his glove. Take a look at Miggy, how he turns, he gets back on that left leg, and he just watches that ball into the glove. Nicely done by the big first baseman. Teammates like that play.
Well, Cabrera with a nice play and Fulmer doing the rest. It has been all Tigers here this afternoon. They lead 6-0. Got some changes for the Royals as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Brandon Moss has come into play left field. Perez out of the game. Drew Butera is behind the dish.
And we've got a wall-side windows pitching change. Kevin McCarthy.
And McCarthy has a fastball that tops out at about 94. He also has a slider. He'll throw that about 24% of the time, and a changeup. So basically a 3-pitch pitcher, Kevin McCarthy.
Top of the order now, Kinsler will stand in, and he looks at a ball outside from McCarthy. Gordon does not leave the game. He just simply goes from left to center. Kane is out of the game. Ian looks at a ball low. 2 balls and no strikes.
I guess Ned Yost, the manager of the Kansas City Royals, kind of feels like they're not going to come back today against Michael Fulmer, so he's taken the liberty of getting a starting catcher and a center fielder off their feet. A couple of guys that literally play every day.
Yeah, normally you see these kinds of moves. Maybe if it's a 10-run game or 9-run game, and you got Fulmer on the mound though, so he's probably putting 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, he's like 6 is enough for this cat.
Yeah.
And they got that Justin Wilson guy back there too, and a Bruce Rondon in the 8th.
Chop foul, 2 and 2 now on Kinsler. So Junis goes 6 innings. McCarthy here in the 7th.
Kansas City travels right back home after this. They've got a big series coming up against the Minnesota Twins.
They've got 4 against the Twins. They have a doubleheader of their own on Saturday. Ian homered in the 3rd. He singled and scored in the 1st. Here's the 2-2. Outside, 3-2 on Ian. Avila waiting on deck. Tigers jumped on Junis early in this game. A 3-run homer by Upton. 3 batters into the bottom of the 1st. And they haven't looked back since. Cleveland has gone on to beat Texas 5-1, so the Indians will come to town with a couple of wins under their belt. Ian fouls off another, battling.
McCarthy was pitching some pretty good baseball down in the minor leagues. This is his 2nd stint in the big leagues this year. But he was 1-1 down in the minors with a 2.33 ERA. And 7 earned runs in 27 innings for Kevin.
Came on to get 3 outs in the 9th inning yesterday. Look out. That one whistled back in the seats. And it looked like fortunately it hit a seat, an empty seat.
Have you ever heard where the Tigers are considering putting any netting down across the
No, I've not heard.
dugout at all? I know there's a couple of stadiums that already have done that. We've seen a couple of them. I only say that because those balls, they get hit back into the stands so fast right over the dugout.
Yeah, you got very little, if any, reaction time. Most of the time, no reaction time. A 10-pitch at bat for Kinsler results in a walk, and here is Avila. Walk and a couple of strikeouts, a run scored for Alex as well. Strike 1 on Avila. Only 3 Royals hits today against the starter Michael Fulmer, who has been magnificent this afternoon. Pitch count very low the entire day. The 0-1. Lifted out of play. 0-2 now on Avila. Minnesota came in a half game behind the Indians, so they will need to win tonight to keep pace with the Tribe. And they're in Boston again. We got David Price. Did you see where Rick Porcello has lost 10 games?
I did see that.
Swing and a miss, and Avila goes down on strikes. 1 gone.
Yeah, after winning the Cy Young the previous year, Rick Porcello's really struggled this season.
It'll bring up Justin Upton. J-Up got him rolling with a 3-run homer in the first. It was his 15th home run of the year, and now 52 RBIs for the season. Up the middle into center field, a base hit. 2 on now with 1 out. It'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. It also brings us to the Menards big money encounter. How about the opposite field home runs since the start of the 2016 season?
No one has hit more than Miguel. And Chris Davis is on that list with 16. We saw him earlier this year. And Freddie Freeman, he'll be back soon for the Atlanta Braves. He's on the disabled list. He had both of the Chris's on that list.
Yeah.
Both of the Davises.
Chris with a C, Chris with a K.
Here's some of the opposite field damage that Miguel Cabrera has done. His swing is so pure when driving the ball that way. He gets underneath. His legs are very strong. In last couple of days, he just flicked a couple out of here. Line drive variety.
Here's the 0-1. 0-2. Two out of 3 today for Miggy. Singles in the first and third innings. 2 of the 8 Tigers hits. In the air to center field on a line. Gordon is there. And the runners hold, 2 gone. Well, Negro Leagues weekend concludes when the Tigers take on the Indians this Sunday at 1:10. Don't miss a special pregame Q&A with former Tiger Gary Sheffield at 11:45. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER.
I think Gary might join us on Saturday as well, early in the contest on Saturday.
Gary Sheffield was a heck of a ball player, and when we saw him play every day, Rod, it was I think you got an appreciation for just how good of a baseball player he was.
And we saw him in the twilight.
Right.
We did not see him when he was really doing damage, but he played 20 years, man, in the big leagues. Over 500 home runs, over 500 doubles, a batting average nearly 300, if not 300, but not getting a whole lot of consideration for the Hall of Fame. You wonder if he'll get in, but he definitely has the numbers that are worthy to get into the Hall of Fame.
Chef put up a lot of numbers, and you mentioned he was at the twilight of his career, but you know, just some of the base running acumen that we observed with Sheffield.
He was a smart player, man. He was a good player. He was edgy, no doubt about that. He was edgy.
To say the least.
He was edgy. And I think that may be the reason why a lot of people still don't want to vote for him to get to the Hall of Fame.
Here's the 1-1. By the way, he'll be joining us on Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah, in the booth. We'll catch up with Chef.
Remember them Chef hats they had here that first year he got here?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was funny. It was funny stuff. Gary was a good teammate, too. Jim Leland loved Gary Sheffield. Gary played for Jim a couple times. Dave Dombrowski also loved him. He played for Dave a couple times. They acquired him when he was in Florida, too.
Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on J.D. Martinez. I remember when the Tigers got Sheffield, and I was kind of asking around, what kind of a guy is he? Is he media friendly? And a few guys said, well, he's all right. You just have to kind of feel him out. So, you go into a meeting like that for the first time a little bit intimidated with Sheffield.
Right.
And he couldn't have been any more gracious.
Right.
I mean, he was a really good dude in the clubhouse. Meanwhile, J.D. feeling the effects of that one.
There's a lot of guys that have taken a beating today. Avila bounced one off his foot early. That's a nasty two-seamer thrown by McCarthy. Jay Up also hit one off his foot. Now J.D.
This one must have got him really good. Here is the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. We told you that the Indians are coming to town. Tomlin and Sanchez in the opener tomorrow night.
And Tomlin has been struggling this year, 4-9. 81 in the third inning, 6.09 ERA. Anibal Sanchez, he struggled early, but in a couple of starts since coming back to the big leagues, Sanchez has held his own.
Two on J.D. Martinez. 2 outs. Tigers have 2 out in the 7th. Already leading 6-0. They haven't been able to touch Fulmer today.
He looks like he wants to finish this thing today.
Well, his pitch count says he might have a chance. Grounded foul. I know that, Rod, in your career, you must have done that a million times, pounding a ball off your foot. And I wonder how many times you're thinking, man, let's just get this at bat over with, because this really hurts right now.
Yeah, that's all you want to do. And you also know, too, that once you go and sit down for a moment, it's going to swell up. And it doesn't swell up usually on the side where you hit it, but it swells up on the outside of the ankle usually. And so you have to get ice on it immediately after the game to keep the swelling down.
Full count now, 3-2. That will allow the runners to get a head jump.
And you wonder if McCarthy, who has a good two-seam fastball, you wonder if he'll throw J.D. Martinez that two-seamer or try to trick him with a curveball. And J.D. is an outstanding low ball hitter, and there's no doubt he's looking for that ball down in the zone.
Swing and a miss. Oh, got a piece of it. Stays alive.
It's a two-seamer down. J.D. got the pitch he was looking for. Good movement on this two-seamer thrown by McCarthy.
Martinez over 2 with a walk in this game, trying to get it to Victor Martinez, waiting on deck. And again, the runners go, and another foul. Nine pitch at bat for J.D. We had Kinsler, who had a 10 pitch at bat to get a walk to start the inning. And McCarthy's thrown 26 in this frame. Another foul. This one back to the Tiger dugout. 3-2, the count stays on J.D. Martinez. And another foul in the runners, man. Kinsler and Upton are like, dude, put the ball in play.
Look at Upton. He's got his hands on his hips. He's like, man, come on.
Brad was saying yesterday, baseball is not really a cardio sport, but
Upton would disagree right now. So would Kinsler. We'll do it again. And guess what, fellas? Get back to your bases.
They're definitely getting their sprints in. They'd like to trot, though.
JD has fouled off 9 in this at bat.
Usually when you have a lengthy at bat like JD is having here against McCarthy, you've seen everything that he throws. It usually results in a positive experience.
And another foul. Upton pulled up about halfway down.
Eric Hosmer is laughing at him, first baseman. Kinsler just told him to bunt.
What an at bat here by JD Martinez. 18 foul balls in this inning now against McCarthy.
McCarthy has thrown him everywhere, up, down, in, out, mostly in, going back in there again.
And another foul by JD. McCarthy might want to try throwing it underhand.
The fans are getting into it now. Justin, he's got his hands on his knees over at first base.
This is going to be the 15th pitch in this at bat.
He wouldn't hit it out of here, would he?
Sure he would.
This place would erupt.
Again, the 3-2. And it's a base hit to left field. Kinsler comes around to score. Upton will go to third. What an at bat for JD Martinez.
I don't know what it is about guys that have those lengthy at bats, whether it be 10 or 12 or 16, as it was there for JD Martinez. It usually ends in a positive result with a base hit there. Good pitch by McCarthy. He jammed JD, but JD fought it off for a knock and an RBI.
So JD coming out of the game, and he will get some massive handshakes there. What an at bat for Martinez. 15 pitches resulting in an RBI single. 7-0 in favor of the Tigers. And taking over now at first base is Den Decker. He'll stay in the game and play the outfield. So here is Victor Martinez. That was the 9th Tigers hit. Ground ball right side, straight to the second baseman, Torres. He'll throw him out to end the inning. Tigers add one more, 7 in the books. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
flexing their muscles all afternoon long. First it was Justin Upton in the first inning that got the Tigers on the board with a 3-run shot. Then Ian Kinsler. Now, he also homered in the game. It was a solo shot in the third. And Andrew Romine getting his first start in a couple of days. He was battling some sore ribs. They're not hurting now. There's a 2-run shot in the fourth, and Michael Fulmer's done the rest. 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 6 punch-outs. Simply dominant. I mean, absolutely dominant today for Michael Fulmer.
Brandon Moss going to lead it off as Fulmer goes back to work. First at bat for Moss. He'll foul it back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. JD out of the game. Den Decker stays in the game in right. So Fulmer has been so efficient today, about to throw his 70th pitch. And we are in the 8th inning. 2 balls, 1 strike on Moss. Two and 2. Michael goes on to win this game. It would be his 7th victory of the season. Fulmer came in at 6-6 and a sparkling ERA in the low 3s.
It will also be his 13th quality start of the year.
Down goes Moss. 7 in the strikeout column now for Fulmer.
He finishes Moss off with a changeup, and it's a beautiful pitch. It's a split change. It's got some nice tumbling action to the bottom of the strike zone.
Mike Moustakas will stand in now with 1 out.
Michael Fulmer is becoming must-see TV every 5th day. You don't want to miss any of his starts.
The one he's authoring today has been absolutely stellar. 3 singles allowed in this game. He retired the first 9 in a row. He got Moustakas to knock into a double play back in the 5th. Fulmer now at 75. Out of play, 2-2.
And more than likely, Fulmer's next start will come next Tuesday, which is Independence Day, the 4th of July. You know this place would be packed watching Michael Fulmer.
Feel sorry for the Giants. Not going to be fun facing Fulmer. Here's the 2-2. And it's popped up foul. Castellanos, long run. Upton gets there as well, but it's out of play. It's been a windy day all day today.
It took Moustakas 76 games this year to get to home run number 20. And that's the 2nd fastest in the franchise history. And Jermaine Dye needed just 75 games to get to 20 homers back in 2000. I almost forgot Dye played for Kansas City.
That is roped fair inside the bag. It'll be extra bases, perhaps. Let's see. Den Decker gets to it. He's going to hold him to a single. It'll be a 1-out base hit for Mike Moustakas. MLB.com at bat is the #1 mobile app for live Tigers baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. You'll get Tigers home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast news, and more. MLB.com at bat. Get it today. Only the 4th hit for KC, and again, all of them have been singles. Whit Merrifield will pinch run down at first base. Ball 1.
Soler has a World Series ring. He was playing for the Chicago Cubs last year, and when they beat the Cleveland Indians in 7 games.
Chopped to third, foul ball.
He's a big, strong dude too, Soler. He walked into the ballpark a couple of days ago. Actually, yesterday I saw him downstairs, and he big man, 6'4". 215 out of Havana, Cuba.
Royals gave up a back end of the bullpen piece to get him Wade Davis, who was dominant in his stretch with KC.
You think Kansas City looked at Wade Davis and kind of figured, especially after some of the injuries that he had last year, he landed on the disabled list. You think they looked at that situation and said, you know what? We have got the best out of Wade Davis in his career, and if we're going to get anything for him, we can't really afford to pay him. We might as well trade him and try to find an everyday player.
Sell high?
Yeah.
Yep, no doubt.
Because they got themselves a middle of the order bat in Soler if the light ever really comes on.
Well, he could be, as you mentioned, a force offensively in the American League. He has shown that promise.
Oh, he's got true power.
3-2, they call it Soler power.
Soler power. I can roll with that. Soler power.
3-2.
They selling stock in it?
That's all. They'll be putting Soler power panels up at the ballpark soon. And rolled to third base. That's a fair ball. Castellanos to second. Relay. Got him. What a double play.
Turn by Ian Kinsler.
We'll see if the Royals want to look at it.
They got nothing to lose.
Naked eye looked like he was safe, but let's see.
Wow. You can't get any closer than that.
And the Royals say forget about it. It'll stand as a double play. That'll end the inning. Brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Gorgeous day here in the Motor City. We check in now with Johnny Kane.
All right, Mario, Drew Butera back out there for the Royals behind the plate. You know, a week and a half ago, he had an opportunity to catch the first pitch from Paige Parker, who is the ace softball pitcher for the Oklahoma Sooners. Well, earlier this month, she had pitched the Sooners to back-to-back College World Series titles. Well, it's a little different, man. Drew Butera's been in the league for 8 years, but when you're catching an elite softball pitcher from 45 feet away, much different than 60 feet 6 inches, knocked Drew Butera out of his crouch a little bit. He actually sent out a tweet. He said that stuff is for real. He said it was one of the only times he's actually been nervous catching the first pitch behind the plate. But Drew Butera did a nice job behind it, but congratulations to Paige Parker for getting it done.
Isn't that amazing, man? You can catch guys that are throwing 95 with movement.
Yeah, them softball, I mean, coming from underneath, though, with that kind of movement and that kind of spin that some of those ladies could put on the softball.
It's a challenge.
This much I will say about Drew Butera. He's an outstanding backup catcher. I mean, he can catch, he can throw, he can receive, call a good game.
Neftali Feliz coming in now in a wall-side windows pitching change. Former Tiger will take over for KC. And he'll face the bottom three, Castellanos, Matuk, and Romine. 7-0, Tigers had the lead. First pitch is lined to right field. And it's going to be caught there by Bonifacio, one gone. Now Mikey Matuk. When Feliz was with the Tigers, I mean, there were times, Rod, where he looked like he could be that dominant piece that he was his rookie year with the Rangers, but it never really clicked for him here.
I mean, he did have some flashes of brilliance. I mean, he struggled early when they got him, but he pitched pretty well down the stretch with that power fastball, 95, 96, but he was a free agent after the season, and they elected not to bring him back.
Ball 1-2, Matuk. Tigers 7 runs, 9 hits, and the Royals no runs on 4 hits. To the third baseman Merrifield, and dug out at first base. 2 gone. That'll bring up Romine. Feliz was the rookie of the year with the Rangers. Been in the big league since '09. Was also an all-star that rookie of the year season, which was 2010. Oh, and 1 on Romine, a 2-run shot back in the 4th. Fouled back now, 0-2 on Andrew. Michael Fulmer.
Bullpen's quiet.
Is going to go out there for the 9th inning and try and finish what he started. Swing and a miss. Romine is out on strikes. Quick 1-2-3 for Feliz. We're on our way to the 9th. Here comes Fulmer looking for the complete game. John and Craig with a 1-800-CALL-SAM update, all about movement. The Royals really didn't know what was coming today.
Ooh, they did not know, and Michael Fulmer has been on one all game long. Consistent, pounding the strike zone with quality strikes. They'll have to stick around for the postgame show, Keith, so I can show them why and how he was able to have so much success.
And we will have some fascinating numbers about Michael Fulmer's start against the Royals here today. It's bordering on historic. Mario, Ryan?
All right, guys, thanks. 7 strikeouts, no walks, and he's going for the complete game shutout. The first pitch has popped up, and Kinsler is going to give way to Machado, who makes the play. 1 gone.
That was just the 85th pitch of the afternoon for Michael Fulmer, who has simply been out cold dominant here today. Clearly one of the best starts we've seen out of any Tiger starter all season.
Royals have 4 hits, all singles, and they've just been overmatched this afternoon. Here is Gordon. Single, strikeout. Ball 1.
Michael Fulmer still pumping fastballs in there at 96 miles an hour. He has done that a ton here today, 95 and above.
Little number back to the mound. Fulmer handles it himself. 2 gone. And Torres will be their last chance. Here comes the crowd. Michael Fulmer trying to throw a complete game shutout here in less than 100 pitches. He has barreled through KC's lineup today. There's ball 1.
And not only has he done it, and yeah, I'm going to say it, he's done it in 2 hours and 20 minutes.
I mean, you love watching him pitch because he just gets the ball and throws it. Here's the 1-0. Ugly swing there. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Torres. He is 1 strike away from a complete game shutout. Here's the 1-2. Foul back. Torres has one of the singles. In fact, he got KC's first hit after Fulmer retired the first 9 in a row in this game. Rolled foul. Here's the 1-2 and a ground ball foul.
I think Michael Fulmer is tired of messing around with Torres. He's going to come back with a fastball about 97 miles an hour for that final strikeout of the afternoon. He has 7 strikeouts already up until this point.
Torres waiting in the 1-2. Here it is. And a foul back out of play. He's not going down without a battle.
He went 98. He went 1 better than 97.
And a base hit to left field as Torres singles with 2 outs here in the 9th.
That is really the second really good at bat that Torres has had today against Michael Fulmer, both of them resulting in singles the opposite way. It's a changeup that he just stayed with. And it's pretty much identical to the first hit he got today against Michael Fulmer, but that was on a fastball earlier.
Here is Bonifacio. Runner will go. There's a line drive, base hit to right field. Torres on his way to third base. He's going to stop there. And the Royals have a couple of 2-out hits.
It's tough to complete a game. Tough getting that 27th out.
He's got Drew Butera now stepping in. Butera's first at bat after entering the game as a defensive replacement.
Brad really hadn't had to get his notes out all day, but he had to reach in his back pocket and to get his notes out.
Here's Butera. Ball one. Runner will take second base on defensive indifference. Now the 1-0 coming home. Popped up foul. This will get back on the seats. 1-1 on Butera.
How about the Royals, man? They are not going down without a fight here in the top half of the 9th inning against Michael Fulmer, who has been dominant really all day long.
Well, Torres battled and singled to left. Bonifacio has singled.
This has to be his most stressful inning of the afternoon.
Driven toward left center field, and that ball is going to get down and go to the wall. 2 runs will score. It's going to be a double and 2 RBIs for Butera, and it's 7-2. So the shutout is gone. And Eric Hosmer will step in.
On pitch number 100, it's a 96-mile-per-hour fastball to Drew Butera, who chokes up on the bat and takes a real nice, easy swing and finds the gap in left center field for a double and a couple of RBIs. This all started with nobody on. 2 outs.
Escobar popped up. Gordon bounced back to the mound. It was looking like a 1-2-3 inning, and then Torres singled, Bonifacio singled, and Kane doubled in 2. Justin Wilson is loosening a little bit right now, just in case he's needed. Even 100 for the right-hander Fulmer. So here's Hosmer. Went around. Strike called. Nick Lentz at third said he went. Hosmer a single and 3 at-bats. That spins him out of there. 1-1. Singled for 3 for Hosmer, and all of a sudden 7 hits for the Royals.
And this crowd has been on their feet for a while, anticipating the 3rd out.
Strike called. 1-2 on Eric Hosmer.
All fastballs thrown to Hosmer. 96, 97, 97.
Here comes the crowd again. And the 1-2. Little looper into left field. Upton makes the. Oh, he dropped it. He dropped the ball and a run will score. It's 7-3. Oh my goodness. It should have been the final out, and it's dropped in left by Upton. Butera scores on the play. And the Royals still very much alive.
Right off the tip of the glove.
Wow. And now Avila's going to go out to the mound real quick. It's going to bring up Brandon Moss. All of this after the first two are retired. Single, single, double, E7. Here comes Brad. It's going to be it. And he is not going to get his complete game. And Fulmer, you can just tell he was so upset when he walked out. Michael should have had the complete game, but the third out was dropped.
Well, Brad senses that Michael is working way too hard and trying to get that last out right now, and this is probably the best thing for him.
Ball side windows pitching change, and Michael Fulmer getting a huge round of applause.
Of brilliant baseball delivered here by Michael Fulmer today. He threw 103 pitches. Nearly half of those or more were 95 and above. He had it all working until the ninth inning. A couple of hits and then a double by Drew Butera and an error by Justin Upton. And Fulmer walks off the mound after 8 2/3 to a standing ovation.
Here are the numbers on Fulmer. He is responsible for Hosmer at first, and now Justin Wilson on to douse the Flames. Brandon Moss will step in with 2 outs and a runner at first. Hosmer goes to second. He'll take it uncontested, ball 1.
And Justin Wilson pitching in his 32nd game this year. Has 7 saves and 8 chances with a 2.76 earned run average. Power fastball 96-97.
Strike called, 1-1. Moss thought it was high.
And Moss has got some power. He's got 9 homers.
Here's the 1-1. Big swing by Moss. Now he's in the hole, 1-2.
And one more four-seam fastball up top. But you got to get it up high enough.
Now Wilson ready with the 1-2. Low and smothered by Avila. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Royals had taken several of their starters out, but the backups have put together a rally here.
A lot of times you see teams put on a little bit of a rally when guys come off the bench, guys that did not start the game, and you also have a pitcher out there in Michael Fulmer who didn't really plan for those bench players. He planned for the starting 9 that he's going to be facing today.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that'll do it. Tigers win the series with a victory today. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. John Keating standing by with Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thank you. All's well that ends well. It is, after all, a bottom line business, and it was the movement on Michael Fulmer's pitches that had him absolutely sensational through 8 innings, helped by some power from the Tiger bats, and one of the best at bats of the year was that by J.D. Martinez, and it's all to the delight of Brad Ausmus. Booed a little bit this afternoon. Tigers Live coming right up.